Welcome back, everyone. Going into the third hour here. Of course, Sword Season 3 premiere. Adam, what's up?
So we leave the stinky troll hole behind and sort of fade out on that scene. And as we fade in on the next scene, I want to get caught up with what's been going on with these characters in the interim. So let's talk. I've got some roles that I need you to make. Each one of you will make this same role, and then I'll ask you to answer some questions for me. Who wants to go first?
Me.
Berg, you want to go first?
Yeah.
All right, Berg. So, many years have passed since we saw Berg last. You've been working under the shadow of the tower and on and off in the company of your new mentor, the immortal servant of destruction, Hazan al-Baraj. And all the while, the influence of darkness within you has been growing. Let's see how you're doing.
Oh, shit.
Roll 2d6 and add 1. Tell me what you get.
2d6 plus 1.
Plus 1. Oop. An 8. All right.
Sounds good.
So I want you to choose one of these three things. I'm going to give you three options. You get to pick one of them. You've been diligent in your training effort. You can raise a stat by 1. You've been able to keep the darkness at bay. Or you've discovered some new magic item in your travels. We'll roll to find out what it is. Which of those three things would you like? If you don't pick you've been able to keep the darkness at bay, it means you've not been able to keep the darkness at bay.
Damn it. Well, Berg's always wanted to be intelligent, and he could not be at a -1 anymore. That'd be nice. That wouldn't really change too much, though, would it? I mean,
do you have any odd stat numbers that would give you a bonus?
Yeah, random magic item.
He's got 18 strength, so not really.
Keep
Not
the
really,
darkness at bay, or raise a single stat by 1.
It'd be the random item or keep darkness at bay.
yeah. Oh my God, he's literally just saying like, "Hey, do the thing that's logical," or what's in the box. You know what I mean?
Do you want to spin the wheel, or do you want the safe bet of having spent these long years focusing on keeping darkness away from you?
I'll keep the darkness at bay. We can always find magical items later.
So let's have a scene of that then, Berg. You are alone, struggling with this darkness within you. What does it look like? What do you do to keep I think you wake at night tormented by dark dreams. You feel this chilled presence within you that has been trying to grow ever since you touched that crystal prison. What do you do to hold it in? Do you meditate? Do you self-injure? What does that process look like? Describe Berg keeping the darkness at bay.
I think Berg early on had real problem with finding a way to kind of calm himself down and just get himself in a peaceful state. He was scrambling forever, like you said, waking up, cold sweats, just having nightmares and shit like that. And then one day he was traveling through just an undescript town, maybe even a village, and he heard really, really old lady just humming this tune that kind of resonated with him. Mm-hmm. And he focused on it. He doesn't know why or how, but for some reason that tune put him at ease. So he spoke to this old lady, and she taught him the tune. And he has his lute. He learned to play it. And so now when things are too much, usually now he can keep the tune in his head and have it keep going and going and going. But sometimes he breaks out the lute if he needs to, just for it to be louder than the darkness that's in his own head. He needs to push it out, and he'll hum it to himself sometimes. So he'll wake up, middle of the night and just be humming to himself, sitting or, laying down in his bed.
Cool.
And that's how he does it. It's a way to focus his mind on something else.
Yeah, I like that. So there was this old tune that this hag, this woman taught you that she didn't know where it came from. It was just ancient and had been in her family forever. Yeah, I like that. Okay,
For some reason, when he said push it out, is a super not comical moment. But I just couldn't stop thinking that In Berg's head, he's singing "Push It" by Salt and Peppa.
Bum, 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 bum.
It's a mysterious tune. We don't
Yeah.
know where it came from.
Bum,
A
bum,
different
bum.
plane, maybe.
And you don't know which one it was. It might have been Salt or it might have been Peppa that gave you the tune. You never know.
Straight.
The other one died off.
Papa's here.
It's like they got this whole Chernobog Beelzebub thing going on where it's Salt in the day and Peppa in the night.
Yeah.
Love it. I'm all about it. So great. Do you Enoch? Do you want to go next, or Ramos? Do you want to go?
Go ahead, Ramos.
Okay. Same roll.
Well, let me read to you your letter first. So Ramos, it looks like heaven will have to wait. Hazan brought you back before you could achieve your just rewards. It's a shame how that works, but now you've got a new god, god of destruction. Let's see how much the tower loves you. 2d6 plus 1, please.
Seven.
Okay. You also will get to choose one of these three options. So, the tower has blessed you with 2 random stat boosts. Roll 2d6 and adjust the stat accordingly by 1. So you get any 2 random stats. Or, no one can tell that your soul is fundamentally fucked up and dissolving in some significant way. Or, your new magic is more potent than before. The tower blocks out the sun. All your spells' DCs are increased by 1. So, 2 random stat boosts of +1. Nobody can tell that your soul is dissolving and that you are spiritually fucked up in some deep, powerful way. Or your magic is more potent.
I gotta go with that magic. That
The more
DC,
potent magic.
the
Okay.
DC. Yeah, that's huge.
All right. So Ramos' soul is a gaping cosmological wound. Okay, cool.
Hmm.
And everyone can tell.
Yeah. Ramos likes power.
So Ramos, you have spent the last several years having like animals flee you, old women making like the mark of the evil eye to ward you off, finding yourself nauseated in the presence of holy relics. You know, and everyone around you knows that you bear a terrible curse. But hey, your magic works real
Yeah.
good. So there's that.
Yeah.
Nice. All right.
I don't like people anyways. It's all right.
Yeah, totally. I'm all about it. It's not going to get better. It's just going to get worse. But we'll see how that goes. All right, Enoch, it is your turn. Enoch, welcome to the party. I can't promise you're going to have a good ride, but then things have been pretty nasty for you of late anyway. Let's see what you got left over from your noble house.
All right.
Roll 2d6, add 1, and we'll see choice-wise.
6.
Oh dear.
The
On a
lowest.
miss. You get a 6 or less. All that's left is ash and bitter ruin. Tough luck, but that's how it goes. So
That's how I was gonna play
you
the
are
character anyways. It's fine.
you're in a real bad place. I don't know if this means you don't have any family left. But if people know who you are, if people learn the truth of your identity, they will come looking for you for the crimes of your family, right? Sins of the father following the son. So it makes sense why you're with these guys. Cool. So let me just make a note here of how that all went, and then we can talk about where you're at. So cursed as fuck. All right. So where
Sorry, this is on Echo.
in the district in Kazalo Station, where have you been staying? What's your base of operations? Where do the group of you live? You've been in this neighborhood for some time, long enough certainly to either have a permanent room in an inn or be renting your own property.
This is still the shitty kind of like slums. Is that
Yeah,
Station?
Kazalo Street Station, Kazalo Station, and all of the vicinity is one of the like lower ward stations, and yeah, barely gets any sunlight, and is just it's a bad place. It's one of the monster ghettos basically, yeah, you've been working and staying down here because that's where the tower put you.
Yeah, I think we've been maybe a permanent room that's in just so as to have a place that has many people coming and going from it, rather than to draw attention from seeing one particular group go to and from a place
Okay. All right. Let's talk about this inn. So there are like not a lot of travelers in this area, but there are boarding houses. There are inns that will keep people, with a roof over their head until they move on to another district.
Mhm.
Is this what is this inn and tavern like? Is it a place for locals that you've managed to kind of insinuate yourselves into? Like anyone can answer this. Anyone can help me build up this inn, but or is it more a place for outsiders who have business here but don't want to stick around?
I'd say it's a tavern and a place for locals, perhaps a gambling house of sort, and
Yeah,
just as a way to make extra business or maybe have some sort of legitimacy to them. They have, or even just like people who do really well and be like, hey, you're drunk, stay the night in this, place. And we happen to kind of barter our way into.
I think gambling's probably not the most well-respected pastime here in the city.
Yeah.
And so inns like this have kind of set up behind-the-scenes shops. And when they found me, I'm the one that suggested this place because I used to come here to gamble every once in a while.
Right, you've been here before.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So yeah, this place, it's near, I think, it's near an area called Rogue's Gate, and Rogue's Gate is a part of the Cazalo slums where it's called that because it's the closest access point to like a slightly better neighborhood, and either roguish folk would leave this neighborhood and go up into the slightly richer part and steal stuff and then slip away through Rogue's Gate, or people from the better neighborhood would come down here through that gate. And this is set up. This is an inn quite near that area. I think it's also got some neighboring like alchemy shops. A big part of Cazalo Station, that neighborhood's business, is there are magical, kind of in the bones of the city, there are magical deposits of brass that accrue around the ancient sort of ruins, and the halflings that live in this neighborhood. They go down and they mine this brass, this magical brass. They break it off and peel it away from the ruins and bring it up. But it needs to be alchemically treated because otherwise when it reaches the sunlight, it disintegrates. So essentially they're stealing the copper piping of the city, cleaning it up, and then they take it up into one of the markets up above. So this area is filled with this green kind of alchemical residue that shows up on like the walls and the ground. And occasionally there are like clouds on work days, like on process days. There's a green alchemical smoke that kind of fills the neighborhood where you're staying. Maybe the first few weeks that you stayed down here, you developed a bit of a cough, but you've processed it now. You're okay. It doesn't bother you anymore.
Slowly it's killing us.
Yeah, I mean that's possibly also true. So you're staying at this inn. Let's see if I can find like an inn name generator. We can come up with a cool fantasy name for this thing. Let's see. Random inn and tavern name generator. Perfect. Let's call it the Fat Frog. Yeah. So the sign over it has this big green frog.
Is it PHAT?
No, sadly it is not.
Is it a frog with some shades on? with a long cigarette and smoke coming out of it?
So yeah, he this the Fat Frog Inn, and it's a big lumpy like toad, kind of ugly, sitting on the sign hanging overhead, and the sign is all like covered in this green patina from the local area, and the windows are smoggy with it. Yeah, so you're staying at the Fat Frog Inn, which is an inn and gambling house, and the game. I guess my question for you as a group. So is this who owns this inn, and what kinds of games do they play here? Is it like an inn that was started by like one of the halflings in the neighborhood, and do they specialize in halfling gambling games, or is it like
What is
another
that, like short
another
games? What
culture?
is a halfling gambling game?
Halflings like games of skill more than games of chance.
Oh, okay.
They do like
Darts and stuff?
darts.
Okay.
Yeah, they're big on like throwing.
They're not
like
big
throwing
on like
games.
long jump or anything like that. Or...
Yeah, sprinting.
Um,
They do. I mean, they're a lucky people, right? So it's assumed that they'll all like. It's not really fair if they play games of luck because they don't want to compare their luck to each other. But yeah, games of skill and
I think this is a bastion of like like humanity in the slums, maybe, where that's who stays here and that's who's welcomed here. It's not that they shit on the other races, maybe openly, but definitely behind the scenes, like whoever the owner is a purist and doesn't like the idea that all these monsters have come in and kind of taken over the place. And so that's probably how I know him, is that I've always said that that's really fucked up that he's done that, but he keeps my gambling addiction, I guess, hungry. So I've always just let it pass and never done anything about it.
Monsters who have coin are allowed.
Yeah, and that's the
Right.
other thing too, is if they have money, whoever owns it will let people in.
Yeah, he's just like he prefers humans.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
and that's why he
Uh-huh.
let me and Ramos in. Was hesitant about Berg, but we talked him into it.
All
Yeah.
right, cool. So his name is Surya Aldahai, and he's an old curmudgeonly shop owner, and he remembers when Cazalo Station still like had traffic coming to it, and it wasn't, this wasn't a slum, before all of the filthy monster races moved in. They are what ruined this neighborhood. Certainly not the effects of any of the nobility above. He believes in that it's someone else's fault, not his. I like that.
Filthy
Okay.
mudbloods.
So you're in the inn of Surya Aldahai, the fat frog, and we see the group of you there, and I guess there are other. Let's get introduced to Enoch, to your friends. Tell me about your servants, right? Because you took some folks away with you when you left your noble house.
Yeah, these were the only people that were probably left alive.
Mm-hmm.
There's Lamech, who's kind of the squire. So he's still a bowman in training, which really just puts him down to the fact that he carries a lot of bolts around into battles where he makes sense for him to be. So not really necessarily too deep in the dungeons, but if we're out adventuring or whatever in the open world, he's definitely there with us. There's Idris, who kind of takes after my day-to-day things.
You're sort of major domo.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we didn't decide on if I have a horse or not, and if the rest of the party doesn't have a horse, then it doesn't make sense for me to have a horse by myself. So
Yeah, I feel like a horse would probably not last long in this neighborhood anyway.
yeah, so maybe I do have someone that would tend to the horses, but he doesn't have a job because like he doesn't have anywhere else to go because he was tied to my family. We don't have a horse, so he just kind of sticks around because I feel sorry for him.
Okay, so you have
He doesn't have
there's
any roles though.
Right, there's a third servant.
Yeah.
Do you have a name for that person?
You can give him one. I only had two prepared. I didn't know if
So
we were
you're-
gonna do the horse. Or
Yeah,
not.
you're unemployed. You're unemployed horse master. Their name is, let's see. Naba.
All right. NABA.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Okay. All right. So are they all staying in this inn with you?
Yeah. I care for them as if they were. I lost my children, so these are my children now.
Well, are you? Yeah, let's talk about your age, because you're not that old. I imagine, like, are your servants, like, the squire is younger than you, right?
Yeah, totally. I'm probably in like my early 30s or
Okay, so
mid 30s.
your squire is younger than you, but is your are the other two are Idris and Naba
Idris is
both?
definitely like an older person, like 50 or 60. And Naba would be probably younger. Idris is definitely like the source of wisdom.
Okay. And why do they still serve you? Why do they hang out with you? Why have they not gone to find other nobles to serve?
I think when it comes to nobility, you're kind of stuck with what you got until the house dies out in this world.
Oh, so they're your slaves.
Maybe on paper, but I don't treat them as such.
Uh-huh.
Oh, they're your
Okay.
slaves, huh? I
Yeah.
mean,
No,
we don't like
they're
to
that
use
never
words.
that never comes up.
Servants.
I never say slave. I never treat them that way. I make sure that they're fully tended for, room and board,
Sort
Of
of like
food.
course.
Yeah.
But
indentured
like
servants.
No,
they
it's
could
okay. He treats them well.
No,
It's
no.
fine.
Here's the thing. Like I said, when the house when fucking shit went down, they could leave, and they said no. They just did what they've been doing their entire life. They didn't want to leave.
Right?
We weren't cruel to our servants. We weren't fucking
What-
assholes
what if-
in our house.
What if they ever wanted to leave?
They
Would
could
you just
at any time. They could.
you just huck around your own bolts and wipe your own ass and
Yep.
all that?
Look, I don't have restraints on them. They don't have anything on their wrist. There's nothing.
Uh-huh.
They're free to do whatever they want.
Did you tell Berg that?
What? That they serve me? I said they
Did
serve
you,
me.
did you explain in detail the relationship?
I never said the word slave.
Mm,
If that's what you're asking.
okay.
Indentured servant was probably the word that got tossed around.
So maybe Berg doesn't feel so great about it. He just kind of keeps it under wraps right now. But he's eyeing you every now and then, watching how you treat him.
I mean, they're normal people. They're on the same level as me.
Yeah, I'm very interested in Berg's relationship with these people, but maybe they haven't had much of a chance to incorporate, right? But yeah, there'll be some interesting conversations there because yeah, they don't wear slave bracers, but those bracers aren't made for humans mostly. They were invented by the dwarves to enslave half orcs. So, you know, it's a thing. Okay. So in the neighborhood, we know that everybody is afraid of or consider Ramos to be bad luck. But they know that you're a cleric. You're still a priest. And so have you been doing any like priest work in this neighborhood? People come to you for guidance or anything, or have you just been like turning them away?
Oh, Ramos will happily do any priestly duties as long as you have a offering for him, because he requires that. But yeah, his service is available to anybody that needs the guidance of the tower or the protection of the tower.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing is like it's really more like a lot of priests of the tower. There aren't that many because people don't get called in the service. But a lot of people think of priests of the tower as being like extortionists, right? Where they're like, "I'll pay you to look the other way, right? Call the tower's eye somewhere else." So yeah, I mean, maybe you do have people who have been like bringing you offerings just to keep you paying attention elsewhere, right? Don't say a prayer to the tower to look somewhere else tonight. Okay, cool. How integrated have you been, the group of you, with the people of Kazalo Station, like of this neighborhood? Have you been keeping to yourselves, or do you like if you walk down the street, do people recognize you, or are you still kind of looked at like strangers?
I think I think I've probably changed my look somehow from what it used to be in the house, or maybe I wasn't the known person of the house. I was just a part of the family, and there was someone, my father or mother, whoever was the more important one. So I don't think I'm necessarily known unless they see like the sigil.
Well, so I guess this is the question, right? For your family, Enoch, there was every family, every noble house has a king, a queen, a page, and a knight. Were you any of those things?
No, but I think when everyone died, I became king. Like, how does that work?
Right. Well, that's the thing, right? A family with less than 4 people is no family
It's
at
no
all.
family. Okay. All right.
4 is the minimum amount of people you need to
That makes perfect
have
sense then.
a family unit.
Then
So
maybe I was like next in line or something like that. But then everyone, they all got offed.
yeah, that makes sense. Okay. And then I guess my other question is when Enoch, when you joined with the group, and when you were when you started taking on these tasks with Berg and Ramos, did the 3 of you visit a fortune teller before you started all that?
I think without a doubt, Enoch
Yeah.
is super understanding of that world, or that part of the world, that part of life, really, not the world.
Mm-hmm.
So even
Yeah,
if
that
the
makes
other
sense.
2 didn't even go, I went by myself.
Right. Okay. So Berg and Ramos, what do you think?
I guess we did. Because you can't do it with Hassan because his deck's entirely tower cards. So
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
He showed you that trick when he finally. He's
Look
like,
at that. It's
see
the
the deck?
tower.
It's just towers. There's nothing but towers.
Yeah.
It's no magic.
oh yep. Oh, it's the tower again. Oh great.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I guess Enoch wanted to do it. Like Berg and I are kind of like didn't want to do it as much. We did it just for him, begrudgingly.
Sure. Okay. Well, let's find out how that went then. Let's see what our cards came up as.
Oakley dokley.
So let's take a look.
Help me
I'm
get the
gonna-
tower.
1, 2, 3. I always fuck up the math on this. So each of you needs
5,
2,
right?
right?
Yeah, we
have 5.
5, yeah.
Yeah.
Me to Berg, me to Ramos, Ramos to Berg. Is that it?
Okay.
Yeah.
I believe that it is. Yep. All right. So let me get my little guide here, and then we'll figure it out. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. I was eager.
Okay.
If this is like
All
a flashback scene, it's the 3 of us. And,
Totally. Yeah. So we flash to now. Where did you go? Did you leave the neighborhood to find a sort of like more illustrious fortune teller, or did you have your fortune told in Kazalo Station?
I had a place that we always used to go to when I was growing up, which I heavily suggested. I don't know if the 2 of you decided to go there. Or we went somewhere else. That's up to you 2.
If it's close, to be like, fine, whatever. This is what you want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely close.
Then we'd go there.
Okay. All right. So it's in the what I mean. Describe that neighborhood to me. Where do you go there?
I mean, this is the predominantly human area of the city.
Yeah. Now, is it like several train stops away, like in a much better part of town, or is it somewhere less so? Is it like still kind of like a rough part of?
I think it's definitely
city?
rough. It's the rougher part of the human part of the city that we're in.
Yeah, I mean the rest of the city is not as like the human part of the city is the whole city, right? Like if you're human, you fit in anywhere. The humans are all over the place. It's just that the more like monstrous races, the kinds of races that are probably not considered even sentient in other parts of the world, tend to get like ghettoized here. The rarer your people are, the less of you there are, the less space there is for you in the city, and the more likely you are to end up in one of these ghettos.
Okay.
So, yeah. So I mean, it can just be like a bad human neighborhood.
Yeah. That
What
makes sense.
about the neighborhood? What about this neighborhood is bad? Why is it like this?
I think it's the type of place where the everyday worker is. It's not the type of place where the people who lounge for work is, or live rather.
Okay.
These are the hardworking people of the city that live in this part of the neighborhood that maybe don't get the respect or the money that they're due.
Okay. And what in this particular neighborhood? What is it's like a working class neighborhood, a little rough. What's the business here? Like, what do they do? Is there a like a lumber mill, like a mill here? Is it by something important?
I don't necessarily know if I'm from this part of the area, so
Sure.
I
You're just
think
familiar with it.
yeah, I think it's maybe they're responsible. They work on the train. They're the people that
Oh, okay,
tend to the
cool.
train.
Nice. Okay. So the folk who live here, they have the job of sort of being rail wardens, and they make sure that the track doesn't bend in the heat and tend to the tracks. Yeah, I like that. Okay.
Yeah.
Wicked. Okay, cool. So you're in this neighborhood. It's obviously then connected to one of the main, like it's below or near one of the main hubs of the line. Maybe in this vicinity, there's like a storage yard for the cars that are either like not in use or are rotating through. Yeah, no, that's really cool. I like it. So you're in this neighborhood, and you've found a fortune teller. Have you been to this fortune teller before?
I have. I don't know if the others. Probably not. It's probably their first time.
No, we've never been here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think this fortune teller probably runs there because again, like we talked about this in the very first season, the fortune tellers in this world are explicitly considered, no matter who they are, if you have the touch of fortune, of fate on you, you're considered sort of safe in a way. Like you don't murder fortune tellers. There's lots of charlatans. There's lots of people who pretend they can read the cards, but there are ways for people to know that you know whether it's a true gift or not. And so it doesn't really matter if you live in a bad neighborhood. If you have the gift of sight, you're not going to get shanked in your sleep. So this person, I think that they run their business. They do their sacred duty. Are they particularly religious, or like would they run? Do you think that this would be run out of a shrine or temple, or are they more like a sort of servant of the people and would have a more central location?
I think this is more servant of the people. This is like a necessity fortune teller, not a spiritual or ritualistic one.
Sure. Okay. So they're kind of a pillar of this little community
Totally.
rail wardens, and okay, and cool. So you go, and I think at this point, like they're safe. They're I think it's an older woman. And let's find a name for her. Her name. Her name is Deva. And Deva, the fortune teller, has been doing this, she claims, longer than the city of Brass has stood, but that's impossible because it's millennia old. But she's also super old. And so she's always surrounded by like little kids of the neighborhood. She's seen as sort of a grandma figure.
She's the grandmother from Matrix, yeah.
So you go to see Grandma Deva, and she is I think she is at home. And this was a while ago, and so you've gone to see her. And do we see everybody? I guess we're in her home because that's where she sees people. And there's she has a little table in this very small kind of indistinct house. She's brought tea out. There's some little teacups on the table, and she has various doodads and what have you of people who have traveled away from the city and returned and brought her gifts. So she has all these gifts of like, dried flowers. She has various little statues kind of set up around her house, and and so you're in this sort of cramped room with Grandma Deva, and she is ancient. She has skin, this thin skin like parchment, and long.
It's like my skin right now.
Long gray hair that she's got pulled up into a complicated sort of bun, and she has these ancient faded cards in her old wizened hands, and the three of you are sitting to have your fortune told. And so Enoch, who's the first person you want to see your card with? Do you want to do Berg or Ramos first?
We'll do Ramos. He's probably loudmouth the entire time, so.
Yeah. Okay. So we look over and Ramos, what are you doing? What do we see you at the table? What's your look like?
I just look like I'm bored. Why am I here? I hate this. I've seen this so many times. You're just gonna die in 2 days. Like, it doesn't matter. Just like, I'm just so bored. Like, I'm at the point where I've died, so I don't really care about this sort of stuff anymore.
Nice. Okay. So she's been more or less like ignoring your grumbling. She seems very like pleased to see Enoch. She says, she hasn't seen him in years, and she's excited. Look how he's grown. She very like definitively doesn't mention your family. She doesn't ask after them. Not necessarily because she knows, but she gets a sense that something has changed or is different since the last time you saw her. And she shuffles the deck and draws an ancient card and sets it on the table. And when she turns it over, we see on it the Five of Wands. So the Five of Wands is a card about disagreement and quarrel, which I think makes sense. Petty annoyance and hassle, a long series of minor infuriating events. It can also represent competition. So the competition between two people or a person at competition with the world, someone who sees rivals everywhere he looks. So when she turns this card over, she just looks at you, Ramos, and shakes her head and sort of clucks her tongue like, of course. And then turns to Enoch, and she says, "This is a difficult one you've brought me." And she's referring to Ramos. She says, "I think you will find a great deal of trouble following you around as long as you have this one."
Well,
she looks over at Ramos.
We'll make do. Just kind of stare at him. There's some humanity left in you yet, son.
And she chuckles and she says, "Well, see that you be careful anyway," and looks over at Ramos like, "You don't get in the way of this boy's destiny." And then she turns back to you, Enoch. And do you want to do you and Berg?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So she draws another card. Ooh, one of the major arcana. So this card, I will make it a little bigger. We see upon it the Wheel of Fortune.
Wheel of Fortune.
I'd like to buy a vowel.
Representing. All right. Good. That's good. She turns over the Wheel of Fortune, and the Wheel of Fortune is the major arcana. It's the one of the gods, essentially, right in the midst of the arcana. It represents a turning point. It represents destiny. It's one of the most important cards because all of the arcana represents the turning of the Wheel of Fortune. It's the hub around which all the universe spins. But it's also one of the most infuriating because it doesn't tell you anything. All it says is between you, Enoch, and you, Berg, your relationship will change both of you. That you're destined to be in this place together. The card represents something will be different now than it was before. You stand at a crossroads of destiny.
Tell you exactly what it is. He met me. He's gonna fight with me. He's gonna die. I'm gonna leave him.
So
it's happened so many times before.
How much of that anxiety is on Berg's face when Grandma turns to look at you?
I think.
Do we see Berg looking like nervous?
You don't see Berg looking nervous. You see him just going. Like, it's gonna happen.
Nice. Okay.
Like he doesn't know for certain that'll happen, but he's like, I know what that probably means. If this even means shit to him. He's a tower boy. We tower boys now. You know what I mean?
So this card's drawn, and like I look over at Berg and see probably the look of just like, of course, and maybe I think that's. Have you like clued me into your past at all? Like, do I understand why this would be an of course look on your face?
Nope.
Okay.
Not specifically. I've been through shit, but
Okay, well, since this card can kind of go all ways, I look at the card and I smile and look at Berg. Berg, just choose to be optimistic, okay? It feels better. All right?
As soon as that card's played, Ramos is like, "Oh, I was the one he's supposed to worry about. Oh, I see."
So, Deva, she says, the wheel of fortune represents great change, not just for you, and she looks at Enoch, but for the two of you both. You will change each other's lives forever. And she says, without clarification from the deck, it could go in any direction. It is on you to choose which way you go from here. And so she turns to the deck to draw the last card. So Berg and Ramos, the two of you, have long been bonded to one another. Let's see what Destiny has in store for you. All right, the card that is drawn for the two of you is the Six.
I don't think we've ever had this.
Six of Cups.
We've never had this drawn.
Picture.
So the Six of Cups is, let's see, it's a card that represents innocence, childhood, and goodwill. Interesting. So this card represents an act of charity or of kindness, an act of pure, like, childhood joy, of simplicity, surrounding oneself with goodness and truth, being taken care of. It can also represent a sense of hoping for something better that we had once had and now no longer, right? It can represent nostalgia, that kind of idea of childhood being a better, purer time, both literally or metaphorically. And so when she turns the card over, I think we see one gray eyebrow raise slightly. She sort of sucks at her teeth and kind of nods and looks at the two of you for reactions to see how the two of you react.
I'm looking down. I'm looking real serious. What's this mean?
Well, I did kind of sacrifice my life to try to save him.
You guys need to talk about it? I can leave the room.
you're alive again.
You and I have a good time together, Berg. I like you.
Yes.
I think she taps the card and she says, remember, the Six of Cups is about returning to innocence, the purity of the soul, unbidden of the corruption of the world. The two of you will find a way to experience this because of one another, to look past the darkness you carry, something simpler, something beautiful beyond. She nods, looks at the cards, rubs her wrinkly chin.
You look over to Enoch, and he actually has a tear running down his face.
Right.
And yes, thank you very much, Dava. That was, we appreciate it, gentlemen. I believe we're on our way.
I was gonna say, before you go, do you want one more card for your destiny as a group?
Yeah, maybe.
So,
yeah,
yeah.
I'm rushing to get out of there, and she's like, "You forgot. We need one more." Oh, yes, that's right. I sit back down.
Okay. All right. So she reaches into the deck one more time, and she draws a card and places it on the table. It's another of the major arcana. She draws one of the cards representing the gods.
Oh, spooky.
The Hierophant. So the Hierophant is about conformity. It's about following the rules. It's about becoming informed of society's structures. The Hierophant is an educator, but also a filer off of edges. If someone is being individualistic and they are the nail that sticks out, the Hierophant is the hammer that hammers them back down. The Hierophant is about orthodoxy and becoming part of a larger thing than yourself. So being aware of groups of power rather than individuals, systems of belief, and so she looks at it and she says you'll have to be aware of things larger than yourselves. In whatever your endeavors are to come, there are powers at work. And she seems a little like, well, a little anxious about it, or like concerned for you.
Okay, then.
Is there a bar around here?
I mean, Enoch, there probably is.
Yeah, they're like talking. Maybe they're standing up, and I'm just focused on all the cards. And Dave, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. You have a wonderful day. I'll toss her 5 gold.
Okay. Yeah. So she takes the gold and thanks you.
Yeah. We'll see you soon. Anyway, I start to like walk out. I go outside, collect myself. Soon the other two come out. And, Ramos, you want to go find that bar?
Yeah, I need a drink.
We start walking off. I'm just like, can dead people drink? How's that work? Tell me about it. We just keep
Not
going.
dead.
Well, I mean,
So you,
yeah,
I think we see the group, the three of you walking away out of both the scene and the flashback, and then we cut back to the tavern in the slums. We see the sign of the fat frog outside, covered in the green patina. We see the windows sort of foggy with this clouds, and we can see hanging outside the faint color of the air. And then we cut to the inside, and I think that this bar, the fat frog, it's a little claustrophobic, right? Because even like outside, it's dark most of the time with these thick sort of fog clouds rolling around on the ground. The buildings above blocking the sun. But in here, you can't even get light through the window because it's all like kind of this vague green. They have a stove, like a wood burning stove, in one corner that gives off some light. And each of the tables has a thick candle in the middle of it. And the candles, basically just as they wear down, they just add a new one on top. So there's a little pile of multicolored greenish wax in the middle of every table. I think that we see when we come back to this scene, we see the group of you. Are you all sitting at one of the tables together?
Yeah, I've got my 3 friends there as well.
Okay, yeah. All right. So you've just come back from killing the troll that was plaguing this area, and what do you? What's everybody's effect? Like, how are everybody feeling? You just made a bunch of money. I guess. The thing is, the tower doesn't care for riches, right? The tower doesn't care about money because money is used to build things. The tower cares about destruction and the tearing down of stuff. So when you uncover a cache of loot, it isn't a Robin Hood situation where you get it and you just, you're expected to go give it out to people. No one cares if you keep it or throw it in a fire or whatever. So you have all of this loot. I guess maybe you're discussing what to do with it, because I don't think you've ever. I mean, I know for sure, actually, you've never come across this much money as a result of these things. So you have all this money, and maybe you're discussing what to do. So we come in on that conversation. So who's speaking? Who has an opinion about what to do with the money when we come into the scene?
I'm in deep thought about whatever's being said, so I'm not talking at the moment.
Right. So you're just like leaning back, listening.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would imagine Ramos would be saying it because of the loudmouth, but I don't know if he knows what his position is yet.
Well, I saw this really, really nice cloak in the shop up, and I think it would help our morale as a group if I had this cloak, so you guys could look at it and be inspired.
Oh my God, Dan, that pipe! Take inspiration.
A cloak? You want to? I mean, sure, yeah, maybe go get that cloak. It's fine with me.
Yeah, and I could use a diamond or two for something down the road that I hope I don't have to use in the good
Yeah.
bird.
No, everyone can use diamonds. Makes sense.
Well, it's for a magical thing. I don't know how familiar you are with the divine magic. It's blessing and a curse, really.
Well, I understand that components are used for something like that. That makes sense. Berg, what do you say? Cloak and a diamond?
Did your family employ a like house priest, Enoch?
No, I think we were the everyday noble family. We went to church like everyone else.
Right. Yeah. No, that makes sense, right? Like you didn't necessarily have your own priest, and you would undergo, because some houses are find themselves particularly aligned with one of the arcana. But yeah, definitely. I think the majority of people just worship whatever is appropriate for the festivals at the time and what have you.
Yeah, I turned to, hey, Lamech, 13. We need some bolts. We need to buy some bolts. That's all I asked. Just
we pan over to Lamech, and Lamech, I think, is. Do you have an idea for what Lamech looks like, or do you want me to?
Lamech is a fully grown out. He looks like a homeless person. He's unshaven. He's got a huge beard, very long hair, very curlied, and then he just has normal clothes on, normal squire's clothes. Like everything except his hair on his face and his head looks to be completely prompt and normal and well kept.
Right, but for some reason he just
doesn't
I'm
like
just envisioning,
shaving.
Yeah, I'm envisioning. God, what's that? The movie with Robin Williams where he's in the board game.
Jumanji.
Right, I'm imagining him from that where he comes out and he's all
What year is it?
Yeah.
So
Sure.
You look over to him and he's holding an abacus, and we can hear him clicking away at it, and he looks up and
In the jungle you must swipe.
Well, my lord, according to my calculations, yes, indeed, it's 13 bolts we require to fill the stock.
Okay, yes, we need 13 bolts, as Lamech just said. That's all I require, gentlemen. We can go get that cloak, maybe a diamond.
A cloak.
Ramos said
You
he
want
wants
a cloak, Ramos?
Do you want one too, Berg? We got enough for two. We actually have a bolt of cloth. We could have someone make us one.
I don't need a cloak, and neither do you.
I didn't say I needed a cloak. I said I wanted a cloak.
So as the two of you get into this argument about the cloak, I think this is where the scene sort of fades out to break. We just have the two of you being like, I didn't say I needed it, I just want one. How dare you? And so we just kind of like the audio fades out and we go to break on that.
Great. All right, let's take one more break. Still got 1 hour left to go here on episode 36. We'll see you after the break.